All right. Hey, welcome back to section number 2 of our YouTube hypergrowth course. In this training, we're going to be talking about the foundation of hypergrowth. Because here's the thing. If you're a contractor and you build homes or architecture or anything like that, you never go into the middle of a field and just say, you know what, this looks great. I'm gonna start building a wall. Hey, can we get the windows in? You know what, let's get the roof put up. No, you lay the foundation first. You get a lay of the land. In fact, you would even zone it first. In fact, you'd even want to do the plumbing first and do the whatever the different aspects. Clearly, I'm not a contractor, to lay the foundation for what you're about to build. Yet I find too many people when it comes to their YouTube channel are working on the paint of the house. They're working on a little bit of interior decorating. You don't need to change the cabinets if your foundation's wrong. You don't need to, start worrying about the ceiling and the decor and the fixtures if the foundation's wrong. And so how do we lay a solid foundation for you, for hypergrowth on YouTube? And that's what this session's all about. And so over the last couple years, if you study social media, and we do here at Think Media, we're kind of like a research firm for what's working on social media and what are the different aspects of social media, and we're obsessed with mastery. So we listen to all the experts, and a lot of the experts will say things when it comes to social media, like maybe you've heard this one, content is king. Like, social media content is king. And then somebody will be like, yeah, but engagement is queen and she runs the household. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, what does this even mean? But it's probably true. Like, content is king on social media. But then, Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook recently, through all the drama they had, was saying, you know what, though? No, it's not just like views. It's not just the content, but actually it's about the engagement. Like, you need to get likes. You need to get different things. So then you'll hear things like, no, it's not content that's king. Engagement's actually king. But then actually after a while, he's like, you know what? Now it's not even likes and shares. It's actually conversation is king. What we want happening is people talking in the comments. And as I hear all these things, there's always truth to them. And some author, just like I would, right, is like trying to plant their flag on the most important thing. But when it comes to this stuff, it's like Game of Thrones, right? You're like all these kings like fighting for like, who's going to win it, And actually, I really do believe, though, there is one king that rules them all. That just eviscerates all of the conversation. It's really the king that rules them all when it comes to crushing it on social media, business, entrepreneurship, and life overall. And it's actually this. Clarity is king. Clarity is king. Look, man, again, you put out a YouTube video that's viral because you do something just crazy and stupid. You could get a lot of fame, but for what? Like, why are you even on YouTube? Right? Like, why are you on YouTube? Like, do you have clarity about what you want to do? Clarity is king has been true about social media, right? But also about TV, radio. It's always true, always starting with the end in mind, because if you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? And so in this course, we've created a download, and it's your personal clarity worksheet in the YouTube Hypergrowth Blueprint. And in this session, we're going to be going through this together, and we're going to be going through it through the lenses of video influencers. Video influencers is the most recent brand I've launched from scratch with the co-founder Benji Travis. And if you are curious about my history, I've been in, doing video since 2003. I've been on YouTube since 2007. And I've actually ran personally about 6 different YouTube channels, 4 of which have not been successful. And so I've had a lot of chances to make mistakes. And I hope that's why you're here in this course. This is a shortcut. We're here to help you go further faster so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. And one of the biggest mistakes I did was I just launched out. Now, as I look back, every part of your journey always has a meaning. And so all the action, all the mistakes, all the practice, that is important. And I do want to encourage you right up front that as you go through this, you might be like, Sean, man, your clarity feels so focused. I just feel confused. I'm not really sure. Done is better than perfect. Simply going through this course and thinking this way is going to get you on a more focused, productive, effective track. But I also want to encourage you, you're not going to get clarity overnight. This course is going to accelerate it massively, but it'll take time. So pace yourself. And so make sure you do that download, or at least you have it on your computer so that you can look through the various areas. But there's 7 of them that we want to have clarity on so we can lay the right foundation for our YouTube channel. The first one's purpose. Second is our audience, or our target audience. Third is our value proposition. Fourth, our content strategy. Fifth, our market positioning. Sixth, our brand visuals. And seventh, our brand messaging. And throughout this session, we're going to go through these. Now, your goal is to create a clear written plan for growth on YouTube. So I've actually, ironically, never written a business plan, but I've written a YouTube growth plan. And I actually do have a business plan. I probably should put it in words. And the reason why, right, is because when something becomes written, it becomes real. And before launching out, when we were starting Video Influencers, like I said, it was the most recent brand. A lot of what has happened in Think Media has been this evolution where we've been like growing and like bolting things on and figuring it out. And we didn't so much start with the end in mind. Now we're going through this, like with you, right? So this is an ongoing process. It's not something you ever arrive at. It's constant refining. But with Video Influencers, like from day one, we had so much clarity because we'd been through so many different YouTube channels and so much experience and worked in the industry. And what I learned is that, again, the reason an investor will not give someone money if they don't have a business plan is they would tell them, well, you haven't clarified your thinking yet. Like, you haven't really thought things through. So, you know, am I just going to trust you? What's your plan is what they'd ask you. And can you give it to me in a way that makes sense? And so that's our goal here, is to have a written plan for our growth on YouTube. So I'm going to tell you a story about the origin of Video Influencers. And this is kind of how this all came about. It started actually on a car ride. I had flown from Seattle to actually Orange County to Las Vegas. So I was living in Irvine. And I was listening to a podcast on the plane on the journey to Seattle. And it was on a Lewis Howes podcast. And his guest was talking about how writing a book is really good for boosting your authority and etc. Right? Is a great way to clarify your thinking, to lead to speaking things and whatnot. And I was like, of course, I've known that. I've actually helped other people write and launch books. And I was like, what if I, was to write a book? And then I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, my friend Benji and I, we've been doing this YouTube thing as this passion in so many different ways together. And it just got kind of the wheels turning. So I'm on my way to Seattle, and then Benji picks me up from the airport. And we hop into his car because we're actually going to shoot a brand deal for him and his wife in their channel. And we're in the car, and I was like, I just listened to this podcast, and there's this place, it was called Book in a Box at the time, that you can like pay them money. And what they do is they really walk you through the whole process of doing a book through recording, outlining it with you for like 20 hours, recording for like 30 hours, and then a writer puts it all together. And it's pretty expensive, but like, I know how busy you are and like what we're trying to do. I don't think we could ever sit down and like write a book together, but this would make it possible. And he's like, well, it's kind of crazy thinking. What do you think? And I was like, well, look, both of us have experienced the life-changing power of online video. And Benji had done his real estate channel, his cooking channel. Him and his wife were popular YouTuber culture, kind of. And then for me, I actually wrote a book years ago called YouTube for Churches. I've helped speakers. And I was kind of the behind the scenes guy, helping people with videography, helping people with YouTube optimization tags and ranking videos and authors and speakers. And so we pulled the trigger and we committed to writing this book, right? And so we put thousands of dollars down, and you put like half down and we split it. And to be honest, like for my wife and I, we were barely making it. Like we were making it, but like not with a lot of margin. And this is now at the end of 2014. Okay. And so then we start the process, but I put a major halt on it. I just we'd already paid the money. We actually had a few calls with the people, but then I was just like, man, we got to hit the brakes. Why? Because what happened, this is why it's good to just sometimes take blind action and blind faith, because it gets you moving. You can't steer a parked car. And so we're moving, but then I was like, okay, here's what I know. I've been studying digital marketing. I've been working in this space. I've been working as a church communications director. You need to build a platform before you launch a book. And when's the best time to build a platform? 5 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. And I was like, okay, I also know you want to have an email list. And even at the time, Shalene Johnson was a part of my life, and I'm learning like, okay, I need to like actually build a real business, not just a YouTube channel. And we need like a email list so we can communicate with people who really care. And I had helped my pastor launch a couple books and had seen the success. We hit #1 on Amazon. They're like ebooks and self-published. So I was like, look, Benji, you and your wife, you got this vlog channel, but like they're watching you guys cook in your family. They don't necessarily care about being YouTubers. And then I was like, and I've got YouTube for churches, but they also like, they don't care about being YouTubers either. It's a little bit different. And together, we actually don't really have a focused brand that correlates to what it is this would eventually be. So we set a crystal clear goal. Okay, we need to get 25,000 people on an email list before the book comes out. Whenever that happens, we actually were a little more ambitious than we probably like. That'll take a couple days. Didn't take a couple days. And so we set out to potentially, to 25,000 people on an email list, starting with the end in mind. And then we went into a process of, okay, well, how are we going to do that? And we were like, we need to start a YouTube channel. To be honest, we didn't even want to start a YouTube channel. We just wanted to write a book. We wanted to combine our experience up until that point. And the book probably would have been decent, nowhere near what it was today, naturally, because it ended up morphing and we wanted it to be right and not rushed. But the cool thing was that as we were going through this process, figuring out this clarity, we were going through all these things. We had clarity on all of these literally before the channel started. So whether you're actually starting from scratch, it's great that you're right here watching this course right now, or whether you're more further along, you can always come in and adjust and re-navigate, right? And so we started out, and this was our most recent brand. We started from scratch. Also keep in mind that this was a side project for us. So it was a project meant to invest in our other projects. Therefore, we had to force it into the lens of we don't have all the time in the world. And so you're watching this right now. Maybe you got kids. Maybe you're going to school. Maybe you have to work multiple jobs. That's okay. You need to make a plan that fits your content creation schedule, your YouTube channel schedule, into something that's practical for you. And it's possible. Again, get more focused, get more disciplined, get more diligent. So we ran this brand basically through this. So the first thing we did once we had committed to this process was like, all right, well, hey, let's do our first photo shoot. We went behind Benji's house, and his sister took a point and shoot Canon S120, took our first photo, right? And then we started working through our messaging. Right? We talk about your value proposition. Video influencers, helping you crush it with video. Okay, well, let's work on that more. Video influencers. All right, Sean Cannell, Benji. And this was our YouTube cover originally. That's why we shot it so wide, is so you could crop in and have it be your YouTube cover. But see, as it evolved, Benji, Sean are handles. Interviews and training videos to help you build your influence, income, and impact with YouTube and online video. And for you guys that are real good at English, you notice that training is spelled wrong. And you might want to know that it was spelled wrong on our YouTube cover for 2 years. How's that for done is better than perfect? I'm not proud of that. It's not right, English teacher. But it was true, and it still is. I don't have this file anymore. I can only get this image, and it's 2 ends in training. But notice this too, that videoinfluencers.net/start, from day one, we wanted to build our email list. Because remember, purpose. So as we're going through this, and I want you to be jotting notes, taking notes, the first page is purpose. What's the purpose of your YouTube channel? So one of the purposes, of course, we got bigger, but practically was like, look, get to 25,000 emails. And to be honest, what's kind of cool about having a good goal like that is it then triggers everything else you need to figure out. Because it was like, well, how do you even make an email list? Or like, how are we going to do that? Or when are we going to do that? But we had a specific target. The worst goals you can ever set are general goals. New Year's, you know what? My goal is to get healthier this year. Healthier? I'm gonna start drinking Coke Zero instead of Coke. like healthier. No, but if you say, my goal this year is to work out 4 times a year. I mean, that's a great goal. Once a quarter. My goal this year is to work out 4 times a week. That's a measurable goal. What's a subscriber target? An email list target, maybe someone in a private Facebook group for you. The more specific, the better, right? And so we knew we wanted to grow our email list. That's why even from day one, we set up a landing page. We figured that stuff out. And then we grabbed the camera this very day behind Benji's house and shot our first video. You'll notice, and here's what I want you to do. We're going to watch the video right now, is I want you to kind of look through here and notice that even though this messaging has been refined, we kind of just did our best to be like, okay, let's make a video. By the way, this could turn into a channel trailer for you. It should, because you shouldn't overthink it. It's kind of like who, what, where, when, and why, right? Okay, here's what, we're just going to kind of figure this thing. So anyways, see the video for yourself and kind of get a vibe of what was happening here.
All right, first off, welcome to Video Influencers. This is our first official video.
Yep.
And what is Video Influencers?
Well, we're just going to talk about it, and we didn't really plan this. So,
no, so basically you're here because we sent you here and you're looking to, follow this video channel to be able to get tips on creating video and using video for whatever it is, whether it's business, YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I figure if people are asking questions like, what camera do I buy? How do I get more subscribers? How do I use video to market my business?
Yep.
How do I grow my other social media platforms with video? What are the secrets and tips of all these people that are crushing it, whether in the business space, the YouTube space? And how did they do it, and how do we reverse engineer their success? I mean, that's what we want to talk about.
And ultimately, how do I think the big ones would be make money doing it.
Yep.
How do I use video to support what I'm doing? And 3, how to be successful at all those aspects of video. So we don't know where it's going to go. Sean and I just know we're going to do it. And
I think we're just passionate. Like, we just love, you're YouTubers. I love shooting video, making videos. And there's a lot of people who are passionate about video. They want to grow like a makeup channel or a vlog channel. Or maybe they want to be a prank channel or review tech stuff, or they want to help using video for their business.
But there's no one talking about it the way we want to talk about it, the way we want to teach it, like in a very simple, easy manner, except we got some pretty hardcore ninja stuff too, right? Because of our experiences.
And I think we want to bring people they may not know and interview them asking questions nobody else is asking. Like, how do you use video? How did you overcome fear of being on camera? How did you grow your YouTube channel? Like talking to real video influencers, whether on the YouTube space, entrepreneur space, startup tech space, and everyone can kind of learn from that. Anybody that wants to do video is going to love these videos.
Yeah, subscribe.
Video influencers on YouTube. Videoinfluencers.net. Early access to exclusive content. Book coming soon, 2015.
Sweet.
Video influencers, how to grow your influence and income with YouTube and online video.
Did you just come up with that?
I've been thinking about it.
Oh, there you go. All right, subscribe. Hopefully we'll have more stuff up here soon.
Coming soon. Peace. People that are... Yes. All right. So that was the first video that we put up from Video Influencers. And I want to encourage you, done is better than perfect, man. We just grabbed the phone, just hit record, and then just thought through what we were going to say, but only a little bit. And I want to pull a couple things out of that as you're working on your clarity worksheet. Notice that we just said what the purpose of the channel was. Like, this is what it's going to be. And here's the thing that I want you to catch. It was even just kind of, at least we had a general direction. Maybe it wasn't perfectly said. Don't overthink this. Maybe it wasn't perfectly written yet. Maybe the tagline wasn't perfect yet. Whatever, but we did start with a North Star. We kind of knew where we were going. And there's a few things we mentioned. We said, we're just passionate. I know you and your wife are passionate about video. I'm passionate about video and all these different things. Here's the purpose of the channel. It's going to be there to help you. And Benji's like, make money, but it's also going to be really about doing it in a different way. Trying to even say a little bit of difference. Like, what's your marketing positioning? We want to bring a different perspective, our perspective to it. And then also notice there was transparency. We were like, and we don't even know when we're going to upload, but we just got started. And that was the origin and the genesis, right, of Video Influencers. We knew we were going to do interviews. And then notice I even said, book coming, get ready, book coming, 2015. Well, the book officially came out, I believe, September of 2018. But hey, who's counting? You got to take action. You got to have forward motion, and you got to have a focus and really a better plan if you want to build and experience hypergrowth on your channel. So we put the video out there and then we just started hustling, right? So we committed to interviews. I was in an apartment in Irvine shooting videos off of a webcam, interviewing people. Benji and I would do Google Hangout collabs and teach training. We just started shooting videos and just the best we could. You know, when I would travel home, his house was pretty packed in with his kids and I didn't have anywhere to stay. So this is my mom's house. So we were just trying to shoot a little batch of videos, batch recording. I don't know what was happening. You know, what we wanted to do in this shot was make it futuristic and techie. That's why we took these weird tables and put lights, lenses for no reason, like just sitting there. And I don't know about futuristic or techie. That happens from this picture, but there's glasses of water in our crotch. I mean, you need friends. That's all I know is you need like a third friend to just be like, hey, why are those glasses of water right in your guys' crotch? But I digress, right? We just started posting videos, but here was the key. We were posting videos in a very focused way. Clear value proposition, clear audience, clear market positioning. We knew what we were doing, and then we just kept working it over and over and over again. Done is better than perfect. Glasses of water and fish behind you, or no matter what's happening, we just started making progress. And I love this quote that definitiveness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Being purpose-driven, starting with the end in mind. So now, after 4 years, after over 300 uploads, we've invested over $100,000 in our education. We've been to over 20 industry events to learn the secrets of YouTube, interviewed over 100 entrepreneurs and influencers, I think over 450,000 subscribers now, 120,000 people on the email list. Mind you, we just had a target. We thought this is when the book comes out, as if we hit this target. But the snowball got a lot bigger than even we expected since that time. And if you've been able to read it or been able to see what's been happening, eventually YouTube Secrets launched. And guess what? That was the actual purpose of video influencers. Like, purpose accomplished. Like, I don't know what the future holds. This year, we're actually kind of slow and steady, a little bit more there. Think media is our main business. So we're ramping that up because this happened. We got through kind of the cycle. I know that this can seem like a daunting mountain to climb, maybe for you, depending on what your ambitions are. But do you see the power of clarity, the definitiveness of purpose, knowing what that end point is? I want you to think about that at a high level. And what can come in is a lot of self-doubt, because sometimes we just go, oh man, I just don't even know I want to dream that big, but like really get clear on it. You know, again, we didn't know if the book would, we had a lot of big expectations. We accomplished a lot of them. Some we missed. We wanted to be a New York Times bestseller. It's not even traditionally published, so that's not an option. So we had to let go of some things, but we picked up other things. Learn that also doesn't really matter. It doesn't even impact people at whatever levels. But we got to that purpose. Your goal in this session and throughout this course is to create a clear written plan for growth on YouTube. And so make sure you download this. And we've got all these various aspects of the 7 areas. And I just want to talk through these briefly related to video influencers. And then think about this for your own brand. So I printed this out and you've got lots of pages here. We're not going to go in depth because this is work for you to do during this course and later. And at any time, of course, you can pause the course.